college, get a degree. That's one of the big ones. Don't just do like they did. Get on up there 6, 17. That's what it's about, man. I told him, I said, don't be like me and you. You need to go to college and get up there and make 6 and 7 figures. Right. Figures. Zeros. Behind the ones and the twos.
Yeah, I want to do that and play in this. Yeah, because I'm not going to make it.
Do what?
I'm not going to make it.
What? You got a dream. Everybody's got a dream. Huh? Well, you don't never know. You might take off and be 6'6", 212 different to 140 and 3.6. I'd be getting one.
There's Melly. There's Mr. Davis.
You ready? You're not nervous, are you? No. You're not nervous. Okay, let me get you up. I'm down. So I don't go first, okay? So you can breathe just a little bit, okay? It'll go caper and okay? And then I'll walk right and explain why you got for 7 minutes. And I just want you to show off your personality real fast. And you'll come back and have a seat, and then we'll go through
He was back, yeah, when JJ was back like when they were like whatever. It looked like he could put 2 hunters and then that.
The guy, he was shaking his hand.
Yeah.
He was 4'2", that guy was 6'4".
No, I mean, I'm talking about basketball. That's probably it.
Oh, yeah, coming in. I thought you were coming in. You done moved that? You done moved that and you moved in? They said JJB here and basketball. I thought you lived with me next year. I said, you done moved that and then you moved in?
They're not going to get up. They won't get up.
I'm happy to know you live.
No, sir. Yes, ma'am. I don't like what he's cooking.
Time to get over there. Time to get over there. Huh? Huh?
It's not your
Yeah.
other restaurants What?
Chat.
I don't have time to cook.
They got runs doing it.
need something to read. Got one of those birds.
Shot it.
You got one?
You shoot it with a BB gun?
Oh, you got one that bird? Damn bird.
I told him I wanted to shoot it. I gotta get it out.
Huh? That bird Clint killed was small, man. He did, though, about 6-7 minutes. He beat on it. Was it?
Ain't too much fun.
I didn't open it up, but the bird laying there weight-wise didn't look that heavy. Yeah. Garrett sent me a text says something about we got the W or something like that. I remember what I was talking about. Text about the question.
Testing.
He said we finally got a win. I didn't know what he was talking about. Just right out of the blue. We were just about here. Watching the Barrett's game. He had 2 men on.
Testing.
Second, third.
Test.
One out, he popped up to the shortstop.
1, 2, 3.
But he got 2 RBIs because they both scored on pass. Got all the ladder something, 7 minutes of 1 piece. Huh? I ain't seen it.
Me.
Did make it home, y'all? Huh?
Yeah.
You've had a piece? Do you need it all yet?
Time is 7:05 p.m. and I would like to call to order the Monday, April 14th meeting of the Southampton County School Board. We have 8 of our 9 school board members present, so we do have a quorum. One of our school board members, Mr. Brandon Rogers, has asked to join the meeting remotely tonight. According to board policy, we do need a motion to permit Mr. Rogers to participate in the meeting by phone from South Carolina. So we have, it's been moved by Ms. Lane, with the second by Mr. Smith, that Mr. Rogers will join us by phone from South Carolina. So were you able to reach Mr. Rogers? So Mr. Rogers? Okay, can you hear us, Mr. Rogers? Okay, so the board has approved you are joining us by phone tonight. Thank you. So we're now down to the adoption of the agenda. Is there a school board member who needs to add an item to the agenda tonight?
Yeah, I think I want to add to discuss our technology that we use for our meetings. I don't know if that just goes under matters for the board.
What is it you want to talk about?
Possibly upgrading it because the quality of it for the people that watch virtually is not that well. And like if I go back to watch it, you really can't hear it very well.
So you want to, so I guess that's matters from the board.
Yes, ma'am.
So, so we'll make that item C under matters from the board would be Ms. King.
And then the other thing was about the playground that is used by the preschool class. I think for like the CT, like the career program where the high school students teach the little ones. I don't know what the name of the program is, but the playground.
Okay. So you can talk about both of those.
Okay, thank you.
Is there another board member who needs to add an item to the agenda tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is it a legal matter, personnel matter?
Legal matter.
Okay, so on the legal matter, we'll add Ms. Hobbs under legal matters. Is there another board member who needs to add an item to the agenda? Then we do need a motion to approve the agenda as amended. We have a motion by Mr. Scott, a second by Ms. Lane to approve the agenda as amended. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes of the March 10th, 2025 regular meeting and the minutes from the March 24th special meeting were enclosed with your board documents. Are there any corrections to those minutes? If there are no corrections, then the minutes are approved as distributed. We are now down to recognition, and we're down to one of our favorite parts of the meeting, the Superintendent Students of the Month. Our board believes in and supports celebrating student success. The Student of the Month program is one way that our division recognizes students for their academic performance, positive character trait demonstrations, and on extracurricular activity performance. So with that said, I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Shannon.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'd like to acknowledge some of our students who have gone above and beyond in ways that deserve more than just a certificate or an applause. They deserve admiration, whether it's through academic excellence, creativity, leadership, resilience, or service to others. They've shown what's possible when talent meets hard work and heart. They remind us why we're here and why our schools matter so much. So tonight, we would like to honor some of our students, and we will start with Capron Elementary School, Ms. Devonda Gary.
Good afternoon, Dr. Goodwin, Dr. Shannon, and board members. First, at Capron Elementary School, we would like to recognize Ms. Ellie Darn. She is a second grade student at Capron. Ellie's teacher, Ms. Futrell, states that she is always on task and mannerable. She is also a hard worker who is excited about learning. Lastly, she gets along great with others and is a wonderful friend. And as you will see, she has a beautiful smile. Ms. Ellie Darn, please. Maybe she could not get here tonight. Next, we have Ms. Presley Butler. Presley is a fourth grader at Capron Elementary School. According to her teacher, Mrs. Roach, Presley has excelled in her academic performance. She has an inspiring desire to keep working at a skill until she masters it. Her determination and love for learning goes above and beyond expectations any teacher could possibly wish for. Her work ethic towards her studies brings a thrill to the learning process for her peers. We are thrilled at the progress that Presley has made. And Presley is also a member of our birthplace Odyssey of the Mind team that will be competing again on April 26th in Newport News, Virginia. And Presley is not just academic, but she's also athletic. And they had the opening day tonight at the ball field, so she is not here with us tonight. But for Capron Elementary School, we have Miss Ellie Darn and Miss Presley Butler. Thank you.
All right, next we have Meharin Elementary School, Principal Susan Fowler.
Good evening, Dr. Shannon, Dr. Goodwin, and the board. I am here to present two fantastic Eagles. First, I want to introduce you to Brianna Carter. Brianna, come on up. Brianna is in pre-K at Meharin Elementary School. Her teacher, Ms. Herman, nominated her because she always participates in classroom discussions and eager to answer difficult questions. She is on task and follows classroom rules, and I would just like to add that as a pre-K student, I am excited that she is going to lead our school. She is a great leader. She has a great voice. I wish she could speak in front of you all because she would captivate you in a heartbeat, but this is Brianna Carter. Next, I'm excited to introduce you to Ella Ferguson. Ella, come on up. Ella is a first grader at Meharin. Her teacher, Ms. Van Dyke, nominated her because she is motivated and responsible. She adds positivity and energy to the classroom, and again, as one of our younger Eagles, we are very excited to see what Ella has to offer in the future. Congratulations, Ella.
Great, thank you. Next, we have Nottoway Elementary School, Principal Susan Street.
Good evening, everybody. I have two of my Nottoway tutors that I would like to present to you guys. My first one is Miss Brinsley Beal. Y'all will please give her a big round of applause. Don't let this shy personality fool you right at the moment. She is the youngest of the three Beals, and we have had the pleasure of having all three Beals at Nottoway, but this one has the most personality. Wouldn't you agree? She's in kindergarten, by the way. She's in Miss Claude's class, and Miss Claude recognized her for a couple of different reasons. Number one, she is a kind friend to all. She is also the classroom helper. If you need any errands run, she is there in a jiffy. She's helping out her classmates go to and from all places, and she just makes Nottoway a wonderful place to be. And I also call her BB, so we have all of our Beals. And so with that, give her another round of applause. And then look over there for your mom. And then for my second one is Charlie Jones. She is not here tonight, but she is one of my 5th grade students. She is back at Nottoway this year, and she is a great role model student. She is making progress and getting 110% on all of her assignments. So please give Charlie Jones a round of applause.
All right, next we have our fabulous team from Riverdale Elementary School, Mr. Paul Key and Mrs. Amisha Warren.
Good evening. Tonight we would like to recognize 2 of our amazing Cardinals. We're going to start with our first one, which is Karen Johnson. Please come forward. At Riverdale Elementary School, he's an exceptional student. He is well-mannered and respectful to his peers and all adults. He works hard to complete assignments neatly and to the best of his ability. Karen is always willing to help his peers and his teachers. He is a model student at Riverdale Elementary School.
Next, we would like to recognize Juan Ramos. Juan is a 4th grade student at Riverdale Elementary School. Juan is responsible, dependable, follows instruction, and is always honest. He also has exceptional behavior and manners. Juan is a student who exhibits the character trait of integrity daily. Additionally, his teacher stated that she can always depend on him to do the right thing. He is a pleasure to have in class and a role model student at RES.
Thank you.
Representing Southampton Middle School, we have Tiffany Madison, Dr. Mark Garfield, and Ms. Jasmine Galloway.
I don't see my 6th graders here, but I'm going to speak for them anyway. First of all, good evening, Dr. Shannon, Dr. Goodwin, esteemed members of the board. So my first student that I want to recognize tonight is Mr. Wyatt Kwan. Wyatt is a kind and respectful student to his peers and to all the staff of SMS. He is also a member of our JJV baseball team, hence why he's not here today. They had a away game. And then he also, his teacher also said that he goes the extra mile in class. He's determined, brilliant, and a friendly and hardworking student. Mr. Wyatt Kwan. And our next student for 6th grade is Miss Ivory G. Her teachers say that she is also strong-willed, she has a positive attitude, she's a quick learner, and she's a determined student. Another one of her teachers says that she is a paragon of Indian pride. She is always respectful, works hard, participates in all class activities, and helps others. She leads by example every day. Miss Ivory G.
Good evening. Today it is my pleasure to recognize Ms. Desiree Yer as our first 7th grade student of the month. Desiree excels academically and is a true definition of a scholar. Her ability to learn and retain information is truly miraculous. She is dedicated to learning and embodies a generous spirit. On top of her academics, Desiree is also a kind friend, and we are very proud to have her as a Southampton Indian. Next, I would like to recognize Christian Rufus Williams. Christian is fun-loving and full of vibrant ideas. He excelled in his art class, and he is kind and helpful to everyone. He strives to do his best on a daily basis, and we are proud to recognize him as our student of the month.
Good evening, Dr. Goodwin, board members, Dr. Shannon, and the community at large. It is my distinct pleasure to recognize the class of 2029. First, I'd like to recognize Emma Udery. Emma. Emma is a respectful and well-mannered scholar. She greets you with a warm smile every morning. Per Mr. Edwards, her science teacher, Emma has a great sense of humor in the class. She always works hard and never gives up on a difficult task. Emma is a model student in science class. It is my pleasure tonight to recognize Emma for her outstanding ability, her wonderful personality, and her respectfulness. Emma. Next is Jefferson Wagalalo. Jefferson. Jefferson is a positive scholar who demonstrates respect and care at all times. He walks the hall quietly with a smile. Per Mr. Edwards, his science teacher, Jefferson is always very respectful. He completes his work with excellence and without complaint. Jefferson is a model student in science class. It's my pleasure again to recognize Jefferson for being an outstanding student at Southampton Middle School.
Representing Southampton High School, Mr. Jafar Baraka.
Good evening, Dr. Shannon, Dr. Goodwin, and esteemed board members, as well as our community partners and parents. I have the pleasure of introducing our student of the month, Riley Broward. Riley? So Riley Brown is an amazing senior. She's an advocate for the CTE classes. She's a senior culinary student. She works diligently in design and multimedia and has always been a great part of our school. This year, she was a huge part of the preparation for the college and career fair, along with helping running the day's event. Riley Brown. Next up, we have Jackson McFarland. And I don't believe Jackson is here today or this evening. So Jackson is a very loving student, and he loves coming to school. His favorite part of the day is the adapted PE class, where the students love spending time with Jackson. He also loves anything with music It is a joy to have at Southampton High School. Jackson McFarland.
On behalf of the entire Southampton County School Board, I do want to congratulate all the students. We're so proud of you. Thank you for helping make Southampton County Public Schools shine. Also want to thank the parents, because we know that without you and without your support, your students would not be as successful as they are. So thank you very, very much for all that you do. Dr. Shannon, additional comments?
Yes, thank you all so much for all that you do. As Dr. Gould just stated, you all are the epitome of excellence. And I'd also like to, at this time, show a short video from Nottoway Elementary School. Each month, we have been showcasing one of our schools, and this month is Nottoway, and Nottoway is a phenomenal school with phenomenal teachers, and it's under just outstanding leadership. So we're excited about the students and the parents who work with our Nottoway community. So, Mr. Hatch, we're ready for the video. All right, thank you, Nottoway Elementary School. And I'm sure that the parents can attest to that, students as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Key likes to take a picture of all the students who are recognized tonight. So if you would, please, students, if you make your way to the lobby, Ms. Key is there to take a group picture. Our parents are welcome to stay for the next meeting. We love to have you, but if you'd like to leave at this point, we understand. Thank you so Thank you. We are now down to the public note. We're down to the update from the budget committee. So Dr. Shannon, would you like to make comments?
Sure. Actually, Ms. Carr is going to come to the podium, and she's going to talk a little bit about our budget presentation as well as any updates from the governor's office and BDOE. Thank you, Ms. Carr.
Present tonight. We actually presented your approved budget to the Board of Supervisors last Wednesday, and it was a great event. I mean, our staff did an excellent job. But I do want to remind you that before the presentation, Mr. Thrower presented a draft budget to the Board of Supervisors, which included level funding for the school system. The only increase provided in his draft budget was in the debt service area for the purchase of school buses in the amount of $95,669. Now, of course, this is the draft budget, and the Board of Supervisors will meet again Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. They will also, next Tuesday evening, they are scheduled to approve a budget for publication purposes. But now the final budget, of course, will not be approved until their May meeting. So, hopefully, our presentation, change some parts, and they will reconsider maybe providing us with some additional funding. That's the way it stands right now. If it is approved, if Thurlow's budget is approved with other funding, then we're gonna have to come back and reduce our budget by $2.4 million.
Ms. Bond chairs the school board budget committee. Ms. Bond, comments?
Thank you. So actually I had a conflict with the meeting last week, so Chris was there as well, so I'm gonna let Chris speak to the budget meeting.
We really do hope that we're able to get more funding this year. I think that the system presented the budget in a very gracious manner, and we showed the need for our students. To level fund us is to underfund us. If you think about it, everything in our society going up, gasoline being one of them. We have to run our buses. We have to do the things that operate and open our schools. So to level fund us is to underfund us.
Of course, I do want to compliment Dr. Shannon and her staff for the presentation that they made to the Board of Supervisors. I do think that they did a magnificent job of highlighting the needs of Southampton County Public Schools. It is the responsibility of our board, led by the superintendent, to present a needs-based budget to the Board of Supervisors, and that's just what we did. So thank you, Dr. Shannon, and your staff for presenting that needs-based budget to the Board of Supervisors. So, thank you. So we're now down to the public comment period. Although Virginia law does not require us to hold the public comment period, the Southampton County School Board chooses to do so because we believe it's important for us to hear from our community members. We value their input. We recognize the importance of their input. The public comment period is a time for board members to listen to the views and concerns of individuals. Therefore, please do not expect board members to respond to comments or to answer questions during the public comment period. We do have a few guidelines that we ask speakers to adhere to. One is that speakers need to sign up in the lobby prior to the start of the meeting. Two, speakers need to adhere to a 3-minute time limit per speaker. We do have a visible timer so the speakers will know how much time they have available to talk. Speakers may not yield or give their speaking time to another person, so it's 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers should address their comments to the board, not to the superintendent or to other audience members. We also ask that the audience members refrain from comments and demonstrations such as blowing, hissing, or clapping. We have one person to sign up for public comment period tonight. payment and finance report and payment of bills. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. Joy Carr, the Director of Finance, will approach the podium again.
Good evening. If I could bring your attention, please, to the preliminary expenditure report for the month of March. You'll see that our revised local operating budget is now at $37,397,641.54. Our expenditures through March 31st total $22,789,253.85. This leaves us a balance of $14,608,387.69. Please note that as of the date of this report, 60.94% has been expended from the local operating budget. The March bill list has been attached to your agenda tonight for your approval. Are there any questions?
I make a motion we approve the bills as presented.
It's been moved by Ms. Bunn, with the second by Ms. Hobbs, to approve the bills as presented. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? So we have one abstention. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is the special education annual plan. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Taylor, the Director of Special Education, will make that report to the board. I will say that the Special Education Annual Plan, it reflects our commitment to supporting our students with exceptionalities through inclusive, individualized, and high-quality education. All right, thank you, Dr. Taylor.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Goodwin, Dr. Shannon, board, and all community members. I'm here, as Dr. Shannon just said, to present the 2025-2026 Special Education Annual Plan. So, the description. The annual plan is just a flow-through application between the local school board and the Department of Education. So, it's agreement. And there are certain things that we have to do because of this agreement. We do have an interagency agreement with the sheriff or jail, and we have it in place, and we actually signed a new one in November of last year, 2024. The implementation is always from the previous year. So the 2024-25, which we're still in that year, but the plan has been implemented. We're spending the money in the funds like we're supposed to, and take care of the kids. The maintenance of effort, it requires the LEA, Local Education Agency, to spend at least the same amount that it did the previous year. So this year, our amount is $5.9 million. Last year, we do have to go up at least 4% as well. So this is more than it was last year. For proportionate set aside, each locality is mandated to set aside funds for parentally placed students in private schools, which in Southampton County, it would be the Southampton Academy. The funds are used specifically for speech therapy. However, this year we don't have any students, so we didn't have to set aside any amount. I just wanted to put that in there because we normally do. For flow-through funds, this is the majority of our grant. We can use this for salaries, materials, and equipment, practically anything as long as it's written in the plan and approved by VDOE. So the amount for this is $654,237. We pay for 27 special education paraprofessionals, and this year I'm proposing to pay for 1 educational diagnostician. Materials and supplies can be included. It's not exhaustive though, so equipment like FM systems, we bought some of those last year. Classroom desktop computers and laptops, iPads. We're always buying assistive technology apps and devices, classroom materials and supplies, and travel to state and national conferences. For pre-K funds, those are funds for 6 and 19, summer staff for preschool screenings, testing, child found meetings, eligibility meetings, IEP meetings. We also purchase evaluation material for pre-K students with these funds, which is Brigance, and materials and supplies for the early childhood special education classrooms. And so that's pre-K students. Do y'all have any questions?
concerning the special education, annual plan.
Thank you.
Any additional comments, Dr. Shannon?
No.
Okay, so this is an action item.
Motion to pay
So it's been moved by Mr. Smith, second by Ms. Lane, to approve the special education annual plan as presented by Dr. Taylor. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the plan is approved.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the academic calendar for the 25-26 school year. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Taylor is still at the podium as she was chair of the academic calendar committee, and she worked in conjunction with Mr. Bill Hatch as well as members of the calendar committee. They sought input from the staff at Southampton County Public School Division, and then they came back to the drawing board, took the staff information into consideration, and then they developed 2 calendars and sent those calendars out again to staff members, and then the staff chose from those 2 calendars. So the calendar that you see in your packet is the calendar that was voted on or decided by the staff, and Mr. Hatch and Dr. Taylor are at the podium to provide commentary, context for the calendar.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It is my pleasure to be here. I've been asked to show you the calendar that is a result of the committee's work, given the parameters we were given to work with. Basically, it's a 182-day calendar, 2 weeks off at Christmas, 3 days off at Thanksgiving, early dismissal on Election Day, 4 week in spring break. Sort of a traditional calendar like we've had for the last several years.
Any questions about the calendar presented?
I do. So, when we discussed the calendar, I know that we talked about the 182 days. The state only requires 180. And we could create a calendar that's 180 days, especially if we can do virtual asynchronous days if we miss for bad weather and that kind of thing. If we created a 180-day calendar, that would allow our students and staff to have the entire week of Thanksgiving off, like all of the divisions around us.
Thank you for your input. Any other comments?
Yeah, in previous divisions I've been in, calendar item like this has come for a first read and second read, like we would have got to see the other draft as well, just to give input like Dr. Tyndall just did. So just getting the calendar and seeing it this morning when I don't know if it was uploaded over the weekend or if it was Friday, but I checked this morning. It just doesn't give a lot of time to look at it and kind of make suggestions. With Tyndall, our teachers, are tired. We need to find any way that we can to give them any extra mental health days that we can in that whole week at Thanksgiving, having come from a division that had that full week. It's really nice. The division I'm in now has that full week. I think most of the surrounding divisions have it now.
Thanks. Thank you for your input. Okay, our position has been that if we talk about learning loss, you don't address learning loss by minimal school days. So because sometimes we do lose time because we might have a delayed opening because of fall or because of weather, sometimes students leave early. So to minimize that learning loss and that lost time, we do build in the extra 2 days. So that's to account for unaccounted for events that might happen. So that's the reason that we have 182 days to make sure that we do have adequate time to spend on the task of why we're here with this teaching. So it's been our practice. But thank you for your input, and perhaps for another year, the committee will consider the input that you gave tonight.
Can't we look at minutes too? Minutes that each school goes
No, we're not gonna do that tonight. Tonight, we're gonna vote on the calendars here. But thank you for your input, and the committee will consider, the committee will consider your input as they go forward. But tonight, we're gonna vote on the calendar that the staff has voted on.
I have a question. So when do we get an input on the calendar then? If it's only brought to us one time to vote on, and we have an opportunity now, but it sounds like what you're saying is this calendar's done, so when do we get an input?
You're giving it now, so the committee.
But it doesn't matter. You just said it doesn't matter. But I made this same point last year about this.
You did. So thank you for your input last year and this year. And the committee had that input as they did their deliberation.
Can I make a motion that we, moving forward, that the calendar is brought forward for a first and second read? From now on.
Surely you can make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. King, a second by Ms. Tyndall, that we do 2 readings on any calendar and a discussion on the motion. All in favor, please raise your hands. So we have 3 persons who said that. So all who think our process works, please raise your hands. So we
That's not how you should have stated that. That's not a vote.
What's not
how the process works.
She had a motion. We voted on your motion.
Right, but then that's it. There is no raise your hand if you think the way it's going works. That's.
Well, raise your hand if you're in favor of, raise your hand if, okay, so if you support the motion, raise your hand. 3 of you did that. If you do not support the motion, then raise your hand. So if you do not support the motion, raise your hands. So maybe that's the way it should have been worded, so I take that back. So the motion dies for lack of a majority. So tonight we have before us the calendar that the staff has recommended for the 25-26 school year. So do we have a motion to vote on?
I make a motion that we accept the calendar.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Lane. Any discussion on the motion?
I would like to weigh in. I think part of what I see happening, and I don't want this to appear like everybody's just not getting along here. I think to not approve what's presented right now in the process that we've always done, we've got a committee that has spent time working on this calendar and has already worked with staff and has already gotten staff input. So to go backward on what we've already done this year is undermining what we've asked the committee to do. If we want to look at doing something different next year, I think we can say next year we'd like to have 2 readings or we'd like to do this, but I think where we're at in this process, the staff has already weighed in, the staff has already voted on it, so I'm in support of after we have it presented tonight.
And to your comment, I understand that. I mean, that does make sense. What were the differences between this calendar and the other one that was presented to the staff?
That, and if, just because the teachers picked A or B, doesn't mean they liked either one. Because I've received feedback that they were not happy about either one, but they had to pick one. You know, if I don't even know what I'm looking, if I don't even know what the options are, you know, I just.
Right, and a survey was sent out to the staff, correct, that had things like, when did you want spring break to be, or how many, you know, all of those kinds of things. Can we not see that data at some point? So that we're making an informed decision? If we're being asked to vote on the calendar, I think it's important that we have the information to vote on.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. So all in favor of approving the calendar as presented by the calendar committee, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Oh, no.
So we have Mr. Rogers, did you vote? Okay, so we have 3 noes and 6 yeses. So the calendar for the 2025 school year is approved as presented by the committee. So thank you for all of your hard work. And the committee will consider your input as they deliberate for the next calendar year. The next action item is the JVG National Conference. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. The JVG conference is being held in July, on July 13th through the 18th, and the division supervisor is requesting permission to attend that conference. The reason that it's coming to the board is because the board stated this past year that we were going to cease travel due to our budget. So I will say that this is a grant-funded conference, and Dr. Harris Muhammad is the person who actually wrote the grant, and she's also the leader of our JVG initiative within the division. And she's interested in attending so that she can learn more about JVG on the national level.
So it's only one person?
She only has herself listed. I will say last year, multiple people attended, but this year she only has herself listed.
So the request does say, yeah, 2 principals, 1 assistant principal, and division director.
Yeah.
And it's paid for with grant funds?
Yes, it's grant.
I mean, if it's written in there, then.
Any other questions? So do we have a motion to approve? So be it. Have a motion by Ms. Lane. A second by Mr. Scott. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The next item is a club request, the SHS Ladies of Distinction. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. The Ladies of Distinction have been a member of the culture of Southampton High School for a number of years. It actually predated my arrival here. And from time to time, we receive requests from the Ladies of Distinction for them to make out-of-state travel, or for them to participate in certain fundraisers or what have you. So I just kind of wanted to bring it to the board, since it's more of a service-oriented club and it's not a co-curricular club like FBLA or HOSA or some of the other clubs. I just wanted to make the board aware of it. I am certainly in support of the Ladies of Distinction and what they stand for, which is character building and leadership development, and I'm in support of them continuing to operate as a club and participate in their fundraisers or what have you. I'm only bringing it to the board because, again, from time to time, they do request permission to travel out of state. And so last year, I ran into a little situation with them trying to go out of state, but this year I just want to make sure that the board is aware, and then we'll proceed with them as we would any other club.
We have a motion.
I move that we accept the request from the Ladies of Distinction.
It's moved by Ms. Lane, a second by Ms. Hall, to approve the Ladies of Distinction as a club at Southampton High School. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The next item is an out-of-state field trip request for the Southampton High School football team. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. Coach Travis Parker is requesting permission for some members of the football team to travel to Chowan University on May 31st, and they will be there from 8 until 3 p.m. They are requesting a school bus. It's approximately 50 miles. The cost is $40 per student for the visit. And, there will be 5 chaperones and 30 students.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Scott. Second. The second by Ms. Bond. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We have several use of facility requests. Dr. Shannon.
Yes. As stated, we have a number of use of facility requests from Mrs. Carolyn Bill, and Ms. Carolyn Bill represents the Franklin Southampton Concert Association, and she listed each concert separately with a separate date on a separate form. But next year we're going to see if she can just kind of put them all together and attach a list. What Ms. Bill wants to do is what she's pretty much always done here, and we certainly enjoy having her to do this, is to showcase the music with the Southampton Concert Association. And one of the days is September 22nd, one is November 7th, one is December 6th, one is March 13th, April 7th, April 17th. And she is requesting to utilize the facility. She will be charging $10 for students, $70 for an annual membership. She wants to utilize the commons area as well as the auditorium. They have obtained insurance, and they are asking for a fee waiver. And this again is Mrs. Bill showcasing music and the arts in our community.
Have a motion by Ms. Hobbs, a second by Mr. Scott, to approve the use of facilities request coming from Franklin Southampton Concert Association. Any discussion on the motion?
And I'd like to make sure that the motion says we approve all 6 dates.
Yes. Yes, the motion is approving all 6 dates. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The next item is Riverdale Elementary School request for their kindergarten 5th grade celebration. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, Riverdale Elementary School is requesting permission to utilize the Southampton County Fairgrounds again this year to have the celebration for kindergarten students as well as the 5th grade end of year promotion celebration. The date of this event is Thursday, June 12th, and due to the large size of our classes, they are choosing to utilize this facility. They will provide a $50 donation to Mr. Glenn Joyner, who is with the Southampton County Fair.
I make the motion to approve.
It's been moved by Ms. Bunn. Second by Ms. Lane to approve Riverdale Elementary School having its kindergarten and 5th grade graduation celebrations at the fairgrounds. Any discussion on the motion? Pardon? I don't know, but I'm sure they'll put out something before that. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We're now down to informational items. So the first informational item is the instructional report. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Rachel Doyle will come to the podium to make the instructional report. In her report, she will talk about proximity learning, Virginia Literacy Act, Virginia Symphony, pre-K screenings, and other items.
Good evening, Dr. Goodwin, Dr. Shannon, board members, and all present. The April instructional reports are as follows: Virginia Literacy Act updates, exact path, proximity learning, Virginia Symphony, and dates to remember. The next slides provide Virginia Literacy Act updates provided by the VDOE. Students will administer VALS testing this and next month. The spring testing window opens April 21st, closes May 15th, and score entry must be completed by May 30th. Regardless of when students are VALS tested, if the student falls in the high-risk band, a student reading plan must be developed for that student. VDOE released a March VLA update with additional information and guidance for the 4 through 8 VLA implementation for the 25-26 school year. The next division literacy plan submission is due June 30th and requires divisions to include 4 through 8 full implementation information for next school year. The SCPS Virginia Literacy Act Leadership Committee will meet prior to the end of the school year to edit and revise the plan for next school year. Both of the 6 through 8 supplemental and intervention program guides have been approved, released, and are on the VDOE website. Laura Hatch, our middle school reading specialist, and I have been reviewing the supplemental and intervention programs, and we will select and add these programs to the division literacy plan by the end of the school year. Data from the 4 through 8 VALS pilot will be used to determine the subtask items that will be included on the new VALS 4 through 8 screener. The data will also determine the bands of risk and which students will be required to have a student reading plan and receive intervention. Students who demonstrate substantial deficiencies based on their individual performance on the SOL reading assessment will also be required to have a student reading plan and receive intervention. And the state is still working on the numbers and and the details of what that will look like. So we're waiting for that to come down from the state. If a third grade student has a student reading plan in place, that plan will follow the student to fourth grade. The same will happen in grades K through 2. They will follow the students to first through third. The 4th through 8th student reading plan has not yet been developed. This plan template will depend on the conditions provided by the VALS pilot. There will be training provided for VALS 4 through 8 following the development of the screener. The division has requested licenses for Lexia, Zern, and Ignite for the 25-26 school year. BDOE is currently working with these companies to determine funding for next school year. Students have continued their work in Admenum's Exact Path for math. Exact Path lessons are based on student need. Students remain competitive with the challenge. We had 1 returning class winner, but 3 new winners this month. Our winners for March were at Capron, Ms. Polz's 3rd grade homeroom. At Meharon, Mrs. Crawford's 3rd grade homeroom. At Nottoway, Ms. Daniels' 3rd grade homeroom. And at Riverdale, our returning reigning champion is Mrs. Peterson's 3rd grade homeroom. Under the leadership of Mr. Alger Nichols, proximity learning conferences continue. SMS and SHS student-led conferences have started for the 4th 9 weeks, and letters will be mailed home to schedule parent conferences. We anticipate the letters being mailed by the end of this week. On March 18th, Southampton High School hosted the Virginia Symphony Orchestra for 2 performances, one for Capron, Riverdale, and Southampton Academies, 3rd through 5th graders, and one for Meharon, Nottoway, and SP Morton's 3rd through 5th graders. The Young People's Concert performances were funded by Camp Foundation and conducted by the wonderful Helen Martell from the Virginia Symphony Orchestra. Our always amazing elementary music teachers, Mr. Overstreet and Mrs. Varian, prepared students exceptionally well for full participation in the assembly. The students had a blast learning about instrument families, singing songs the orchestra played, and clapping and stomping out various types of rhythms. A special thanks to Camp Foundation for funding the event, and also to our music teachers, the technology department, the Southampton County Sheriff's Office, and SHS administrative staff for assisting in making this event a huge success. And there are just a few photos. And just a few reminders for this week. Pre-K screenings will take place from April 14th through the 18th for the 25-26 school year. Children who live in Southampton County and are 4 years old on or before September 30th are eligible for the program. Parents and guardians are asked to contact Linda Drake or the Rain Green Whitehead at the school board office to schedule their students' screening time. And then kindergarten registrations will take place this Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. at the students' zone school. This is a perfect opportunity to get students registered because, as a reminder, elementary schools are closed during the month of July. In addition, the ODU Mobile Health Clinic can provide physicals free of charge to those students and families that may need that service. Any questions?
Questions? Any further comments by Shelley?
Thank you, Ms. Silver.
Next, we have the maintenance, operations, and transportation report. Shannon?
Yes, I see Mr. Melby coming to the podium, but he's empty-handed. I hope he has a demonstration with him.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Dr. Goodwin, Dr. Shannon, board. Just to go over a couple of quick updates from the department. Out here, we finally got our building permit straight, so our modular units are being installed right now. Hunterdale, we went ahead and took out the old green carpet that was in the library, the Parent Resource Center, and in the front office. We put down the LVT, which is the same in the dining room there that you guys use. Excuse me. Sunny Merriman updated that we would be getting the first of our 4 fiscal year 25 buses starting in about a week to 10 days. Today I put up the transportation RFP and the waste removal RFP. Still waiting from the state to release the food services RFP so that we can put that out as well. So, your demonstration, Dr. Shannon. So our emergency notification system, as part of our safety grant stuff that we've been working on, one of the pieces is it's an emergency notification. Well, every one of the administrators is gonna get a card that will clip to they can clip to their ID the same way, that has a emergency button on it. When they hit that button, it dials to the dispatch at Southampton County Sheriff's Office. They will be able to communicate with the dispatcher through the card. So they can tell them, hey, this is the emergency, this is where we need you. So that's one piece that came in.
I was just so excited, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. In each front office, they will also be having one of these buttons installed so that they, in the front office, they can go ahead and hit the button and it'll do the same thing, where they'll be able to communicate with dispatch. Both of those units got here. Bill and I have been working on getting the back end straight so that they communicate, because they work over our Wi-Fi network, and that's how they go. So we don't rely on cell phone service. It's all about using the internet. Next piece on here, student ID cards. This has been a long road, but they finally are here. All the elementary schools through the middle school are here. We're missing a lot of pictures at the high school, so we've got to figure out how we're going to do that. These are the cards that we talked about previously that students can use in the lunch line, in the library, and on the bus. So this is the RFID card they tap when they get on the bus, and the parents can get a notification when their child is on the bus, what bus they are on, and when they tap off, the parent gets a notification your child got off the bus at such and such location. So we are going to pilot this out. We're going to figure out either one bus or a handful of kids throughout the county, that staff kids, whatever, that we can do this with to start with, and then roll it out as soon as we're ready to go. We are continually working with the security equipment grant for this year. Fencing, lighting at the different schools, security system upgrades, and window film are all in progress at this time. Any questions?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
With the cards, is there going to be a requirement that that child has to card when it's on the bus as well as off the bus?
We will not deny service if the child does not have their
That's
card.
what I need to hear.
It is just an extra piece for the parents, and I'm sure if the parents want to know where they're at, they're going to make sure their kid has their card.
But you know they're going to lose it.
Oh, yeah. That's why I got about, 1,000 extra blanks ready to go.
The emergency notification system, is that part of a grant project that?
Yes, ma'am, that's what I said. We're using it, part of the security grants that we received in June of last year and also this fall. Thank you very much.
Questions, comments? Thank you. We're now down to student enrollment and student teacher attendance. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, student enrollment, we had, and this was as of the end of March, 2,238 students, inclusive of preschool students, is 2,381 students. The winner of the Teacher Attendance Award is Meharry Elementary School. And the winner of the Student Attendance Award is Nottoway Elementary School.
Thank you. You do have school calendars included with your board information. Please make yourselves available whenever possible to attend events that are listed on these school calendars. It gives us an opportunity to visit the schools. So please look at those calendars. So now we're down to matters from the board. So the first item, Ms. Cassandra Hobbs is our CSTEP representative. So Ms. Hobbs, anything to say about CSTEP?
So we will update about variations in fees concerning schools paying different rates. And so the superintendent along with the district consortium will be looking at that to see if they can establish some consistency. Law has been paying their employees, CSEP employees, significantly more than other districts, and they're trying to see if they can align that. I don't know how boost morale and help their students have wonderful time where they share their information about homecoming events, football games, McDonald's night, their parade that they're doing, and replication, somewhat of the basic Thanksgiving decoration, so there's activities there. And then they also work on Virginia District wanting to use funds that they had this year. And so, of course.
Any questions for Ms. Hobbs? Thank you, Ms. Hobbs, for representing us on that CSEP board. Thank you. I did want to respond to and provide context for an article that appeared in the Tidewater News. I think it was April the 2nd. There was a headline that said something like, Board of Supervisors files lawsuit against school board or something to that nature. And in that article, the chairperson of the Southampton County Board of Supervisors says that the Board of Supervisors was filing a lawsuit against Southampton County School Board and School Division Superintendent due to a reported lack of response to a Freedom of Information request. So I do want to provide some context for that article and for what has been going on. As you know, that back in December, I think it was December the 20th, that we received a FOIA request sent through the U.S. mail and postmarked 12/20 that was addressed to our post office box number. The FOIA request was for 16 categories of financial data, reports, and documents going back as much as 10 years. Now, of course, Southampton County Public Schools was closed for winter break, but on the 8th of January, Southampton County School Board sent a letter to the FOIA requester acknowledging receipt of the FOIA request and invoking a 7 workday extension. On the 8th, we received an auto reply from that requester advising that that person was out of the office. On January the 21st, our council sent a letter to the Board of Supervisors Council advising them that the production and volume of the FOIA request would interfere with the division's ability to meet its operational responsibilities, and requested to meet to discuss narrowing, clarifying, and refining the request. Our council also informed the Board of Supervisors Council at that time that the cost of supplying those records would be extremely expensive. So on January the 28th, the School Board Council and the Board of Supervisors Council agreed to engage in extensive meetings to discuss the revision of those FOIA requests. So fast forward to February, the Board of Supervisors Council sent our council a letter confirming a revised FOIA request as they agreed to do at their January 28th meeting between the two attorneys. So if we go forward, what happened was that the attorneys for the Board of Supervisors and the attorney for the school board were meeting trying to clarify and narrow down that list of requests. So they met in February, they met in March, and they were trying to narrow down that list. So now if we move forward to March, the school board council estimated and gave the Board of Supervisors an estimate of the cost of that FOIA request. The FOIA request, as they had discussed it, would be $30,000. Now, if you think about it, that when we think about a FOIA request, remember that a public body can make reasonable charges that would cover the cost of assessing, duplicating, finding, and searching for requested records. And that cost includes staff time spent on searching for those requested records, plus the cost of duplicating those requested records. And the charge for staff time is the average hourly pay of the administrators who have to search, the administrators who have to review, and the clerical staff who have to do the copying. So the estimated cost for the FOIA request from the Board of Supervisors is estimated to cost $30,000. If a request exceeds $250, then the public body has the right to ask for payment before the FOIA request is fulfilled. So, what has happened, and what Mr. Edwards said, is that the Board of Supervisors was filing a complaint. So we did get a petition from Dasher Pasco, who is the attorney for the Board of Supervisors. So the Board of Supervisors has served a petition to have a hearing about this same FOIA request. So even though the two attorneys were in discussion about how to narrow down the request, how to make it more affordable, in March, the Board of Supervisors Council requested that we respond to their request within 10 days, that they knew that, with our council acknowledged receipt of that letter, indicated that we would still be willing to meet to discuss the request. We have been in communication with their attorney, but as it stands now, the requested cost of that FOIA request that we received from Dasher Pasco is estimated to cost $30,000. However, we do have a court date, and there will be a hearing to discuss the matter, which is where we are now. So we do have a date for the hearing, but I did want board members to know that our attorney and our law firm, Sands Anderson, and Pam O'Berry, our representative, has been in contact with the attorney for the Board of Supervisors, and that we were attempting to come to some resolution about the FOIA request that the law firm submitted on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. And that is where we stand at this point. So any questions, anything I can do to help clarify what's going on? Pardon me? The day of the hearing is April 22nd. $10:30, or soon thereafter.
Location.
The address of the courthouse for the case will be heard is the Mills E. Godwin Courts Building, 150 North Main Street, 3rd floor, Suffolk, Virginia.
expect you to attend?
Our attorney will be there. School board members if they wish, but you don't have to be there. But we will be represented by Ms. Pamela O'Bear, who is our attorney, and she's with Sands Anderson, and I'm sure the superintendent will be there since she's the person who was served, so the superintendent and our attorney will be there.
You said who was served? Was the school board named in it, or just the superintendent?
Southampton County Public Schools.
And then, so the school board's attorney is the same as the division's attorney?
Yes.
That's not a conflict of interest?
Say that again?
That's not a conflict of interest for us to both have the same attorney?
Why would there be a conflict of interest for the school board to have an attorney?
Well, the training that I've received said that we should have separate, because we're two separate entities. We're not, you know.
I mean, who are you talking about? The board of supervisors has an attorney, we have an attorney.
Right, but our school board attorney should not be the same as the division attorney.
No, that's not true. The attorney represents the division and the superintendent, because the superintendent is being brought to court on behalf of the school system, not in her capacity as an individual. So no, that's not a conflict of interest.
Aren't you hired by the division?
Yes.
We are not hired by the division.
No, we're publicly elected officials. We have a contract.
No, we don't.
No. We are elected officials. We employ the superintendent.
Right.
But we also pay the legal fees for the superintendent, and we also have, so we have an attorney that represents, because it's at Southampton County Public Schools, where you couldn't send a summons to a school, so you had to send it to an individual. So even though the superintendent is the person who is being named, the respondent is the Southampton County Public Schools.
What does our information say that we submitted when we were elected, sworn in, we received information from Southampton County Public Schools that we are
Public body.
Southampton County Public Schools.
I thought, no, but we're not employed by the school division.
When you receive your check, what does it say?
That, just because we're paid by the school system for what we do doesn't make us. We were not hired by Southampton County.
We represent Southampton County Public Schools.
What do we connected to?
Ourselves. We are an independent body. We're a school board.
Yeah.
Independent of what?
Of the school system. Like, they're not the same. We don't work,
I think you need to go back and, sort of reread what you're saying.
That's so nice of you to say. We need to establish some norms and decorum, because it is unreal, the lack of respect when someone disagrees. We are all educated people. We're never gonna agree on everything, but we should be able to have conversations without feeling bullied or talked down to.
I asked the question.
Yes, ma'am, I'm not talking about
Okay.
you are fine, you're good.
But I'm the one who's trying to get the clarification.
Right, and me too, because but the information I'm receiving is, and what I've researched is different, and I'm okay that we can disagree, but I just don't like feeling bullied and talked down to.
Neither do I. So we agree on that part, that neither one of us wants to be bullied or talked down to. And we can respectfully, agree or disagree. But what we can do is have our attorney come to our May meeting to explain that the school board needs legal representation, because it's the school board that's being served.
Yes, I agree that we need legal representation. My question was just about having the same council represent both the school division and the school board. That was the question that I started with.
And I think maybe that question comes from some school boards actually have council that are at every meeting and participate on the board and are paid as a part of the board.
Yes.
Correct, are paid as a part of the board. We don't have an attorney that sits at every meeting with us that's considered a part of our board. That might be a conflict if you had a person that was a part of your board that then became a representative. But we've got Sands Anderson that we've hired as our representative for legal work in court, so she's not a part of our board. I think that may be where you're thinking the conflict of interest.
Any other comments? So hopefully the takeaway is that our attorney, the person representing Southampton County Public Schools, Pamela O'Hare with Sands Anderson, she has been in touch with the firm that's representing the Southampton County Board of Supervisors. So I didn't want you to think that nothing had been done between the time we received the FOIA request in December and the time that we received this request to appear in court. But I did want to make clear that that our attorney has been working. So we were not ignoring the request, and that we had been in touch with the legal representation for the Board of Supervisors was what I was trying to clarify. That we have been working, and the attorneys have been meeting and have been trying to narrow the scope of the FOIA request to make it less costly to supply the information that was requested on the initial FOIA request. And apparently, the Board of Supervisors has given its attorney different instructions, and now we will have a hearing about this matter, and it's still about that FOIA request that we received in December.
Do you know why it was filed in December and not
Yes.
We could be updated about that?
Yes. If there's a change in the hearing date, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Additional comments? Okay. So we're down to item C, and Ms. King had some items you wanted to bring to our attention.
Yes, ma'am. Since I originally brought it to you, I looked it up. It's the dual enrollment early childhood program that has the little pre-K program, where the little ones come like half a day. Their playground needs some serious help. It's not in a usable format at this time, and I didn't know if that was something that could be looked into by the department, whatever department oversees that grounds and maintenance, if there was grant money for that, that we fundraising or something, some kind of, help them have a appropriate accessible playground when they're here. That was that. And the other thing was just the technology. Having attended the Board of Supervisors meeting when y'all presented the budget, their sound quality is so much better than ours. I was just wondering if there's something that we can do differently so that our sound quality is better when it's feeding out to the public and then for playback purposes. I know that if we speak, we have to remember to speak right into it, and it's louder, but it's still, even at the microphone, when you're watching the playback, if anybody ever watches it back, I know I sent it to my parents to watch, they can't hear it. So that was my only question, is can we look into maybe upgrading or seeing what how the Board of Supervisors, what company they use, maybe we can get a deal, I don't know, just doing something a little different.
Thank you, Dr. Shannon was taking notes, and she will look into those matters.
Along those same lines, is it possible for us to use council chambers where they have all the equipment already set up instead of having to set all of this up and then break it all back down again when we have meetings?
I prefer to meet in schools, since it's school board, but Dr. Shannon can investigate the possibility of using it.
part of their sound quality being better is just the acoustics of the room, and they've got sound panels in the room, we're in a room that's open and bigger. The downfall of having it at the county office, of course, would be we like to have students come in and recognize students, and if you have a limited space in there. When you look at the room here, it's full at the beginning of the meeting, we would be able to have that many students show up each time, so that limits us in that capacity.
I think Dr. Shannon did make note of those comments. We'll investigate. So pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 and 2 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, the board upon a motion and a second will convene a closed meeting to consider personnel and student matters, personnel, appointments, resignations, retirement, stipends, out of district, student admissions, intra-district student transfers, and a legal matter and a personnel matter. We have a motion to go into closed session. So, a motion by Ms. Lane. Second by Mr. Smith. All in favor, please say aye. So after the closed session, we'll return to this area to take action on any item that needs action arising from closed session.